Welcome back to the 2023 Tire Rack One Lap of America presented by Grassroots Motorsport Magazine with coverage brought to you by Hooked on Driving. This is an interview that I've been looking forward to since we started these. We've got a great team here. We've got Enrique, Randy, and Jason here along with Brian, and we're going to ask them about their one lap experience for this year. So with that, starting with Enrique, why don't you introduce yourself and let us know a little bit about yourself?
Hey everybody, I'm Enrique Ramirez, and this is going to be my 14th One Lap of America. Started in 1999, kind of like a lot of people. It was a bucket list thing, and I convinced my then girlfriend to do it with me, who then ended up being my wife, and 2000 One Lap ended up being our honeymoon. So I knew she was a keeper when she did the One Lap with me, and we survived a week, and then we were still able to carry on. So, you know, back when we started then, we were doing it for children, save the children, for many years. But since 2018, I was diagnosed with some cancer stuff. We've been doing it for the American Cancer Society, and that's who we're doing it for again this year.
Fantastic. Randy?
Well, I'm Randy Pope. I'm a lifetime professional race car driver, and I have done the One Lap of America several times now. I did it way back in '95, which I think is pre-Tire Rack. In fact, Tire Rack, did they even exist in '95? I think they did, maybe. But that was in a BMW M3 in '95. They were brand new, and we finished third overall and second in class. Got beat by a 911 Turbo and a built-up SLP Firebird, if this takes you back with the retro cars. And then for the last several years, I've been doing it with these two fine gentlemen. In fact, Jason here gave up his seat for me 2 years ago. We were in Enrique's Cayenne, and last year we ran a Dynan BMW X3M or XM3, X3M, both of which are SUVs. And I said, Enrique, I love you, man, but no more SUVs. So we have upgraded to a car that's as big and heavy as an SUV, but it's a lot lower and a lot more powerful. So that's a big step forward. And I'm happy to be back on the Tire Rack One Lap of America. It's a wild adventure.
Awesome. And Jason, now that we fixed your audio.
I'm Jason Stomrowski. This is my third One Lap. Enrique got me hooked on it in 2019 with my Shelby. That was an incredible year. That was so much fun. And once you do One Lap, you have to keep doing it. It's in your blood, and you meet so many great people. To me, that's the biggest thing about this, is meeting such great people and road tripping. It is so much fun, and you meet so many great friendships. And I travel a lot for business, so a lot of people I've met at One Lap when I'm traveling in business, I get to go with them in different cities. So it's a great thing. Really looking forward to this year. Unfortunately, a couple of years ago I couldn't make it. I was in the ICU with COVID and given my last rites. So wow. This makes it so much more special being able to continue doing this. Looking forward to this year, that's for sure.
And that's sort of a theme, I guess, with this team. It's sort of, adversity, overcoming adversity, and pushing forward and having a good time and seemingly making it look easy to everybody. I mean, Enrique, obviously you had been battling stage 4 cancer, correct? And you're what, 5 years now that they gave you a small window and you far surpassed that. Yes, Jason, you were also, obviously in the ICU and having a go of it. And Randy's he's just been around forever. So I don't know what's with him, but I mean,
I'm a prostate cancer survivor.
There you go. So, I mean, everybody here has sort of been touched by it in one way, shape, or form, but this team really does persevere. So, Enrique, if you wouldn't mind, just on the onset, taking care of the elephant in the room, giving us a little bit about your background, the history there with that, and what drives you and this team to show up year after year and promote your cause and to continue that battle, and maybe a little bit of inspiration for anybody else watching this.
Well, it's interesting because I did the One Lap consistently through about 2012. I'd miss a year here or there for kids, and family events, but I was pretty consistent. And then after that, started a company, got wrapped up in life. And then in 2018, I got a kick in the nuts with the cancer diagnosis. And it made me kind of take a step back and really look at what I love doing and who I like being around, family and friends and people that love what I love. And that's when, I really connected with Jason at the track at Road America and became good friends. And I talked him into doing this crazy thing with me. Again, because it had been a few years and just made me realize that, you don't know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen. You have to do what you love, what you enjoy with the people that, you love and enjoy. And for me, the one lap was always a special place. And it wasn't, a lot of it, the tracks and stuff, but it's the people, right? It's those people, like Jason said, I have friends that I've made, throughout the years. I've run the one lap with probably 10 different people, and we're all still good friends, and we all still talk and check in with each other and hang out and do stuff. So again, with that diagnosis in 2018, and then, that you hear those words, you have cancer, it's a rude awakening. And then, you go into more detail on the kind of cancer. Kidney cancer is one of those that's not curable. So what they do is they just try to extend your life as long as possible. So I've gone through chemos, radiation, more chemo, a different kind of chemo. And then to kick it off, because of all the scans and stuff I had to do for that, I ended up getting leukemia. So then I had to get a different kind of chemo to battle that leukemia. And, it's been 5 years. In May it'll actually be 5 years. And my last scans in March, got together with the doctor, and he basically, he's like, well, it's, we're on like the third or fourth different treatment. As you go further into the treatments, it becomes less and less likely that, that they'll work, because the cancer gets immune and it learns to kind of fight and adjust. So, every time we do a different treatment, the prognosis seems to be, it's less likely. But I just show up every day, live every day. I'll keep doing what I love doing as long as I can, spend time with the family, with friends. I still go out to the track, visit a lot of the teams that come out and race that I've had relationships with over the years. And I'm just going to keep showing up until I can't.
Well, we appreciate that. And I think that's, that's true with anything in life, and particularly this battle and this struggle. You just got to keep showing up. Same, and Randy, I'm sure, you'll speak to this, at a race. Even if you're outclassed and undergunned, you show up because you never know what's going to happen. It's really not in our control, and yeah, you can't just give up. So I think that's really inspiring from that standpoint. Brian?
Yeah, Enrique. So each year when the route comes out, do you have your fingers crossed that Road America is going to be on there, since you know every square inch of that property?
Well, what's funny is that, when I was working there, I'd always call Brock and I'm like, all right, let's do this. I'll work it out so we could, try to give them the best possible deal. Things have changed a little bit there since I've left, as far as, being able to negotiate as much or try to work things out. And the other part is the weather, right? I mean, we've been at Road America. I've been there in early May in the snow, sleet, hail. We got lucky a couple of years ago at Brainerd. We left and there was a blizzard the next day, for one.
Yep, I remember that.
Yep.
So I get that. It's kind of hard. Yeah, I do love when it comes to, when one lap comes to your home track, it's always fun. But I've got the best driver in the house, doing our wheeling and dealing. So it doesn't, I don't think it's as critical that we go to my home track, although we're going to Randy's at Road Atlanta, right in his backyard. So I know he's going to be loving that.
So
Wait, are
talk
you
to-
saying, Enrique, that Tomo is not going to be running this year?
He is.
I thought you
What?
said I was the best driver.
You are. That's
I don't
right.
know.
I'm entitled to my
Tomo
own.
Gorman, he's pretty sharp and he's really good at the one lap. It
is.
was amazing that he could keep that supercharged ZR1 Corvette ahead of our Dynan BMW SUV. Amazing.
Well, particularly at like Putnam in the rain, we figured you would have a distinct advantage there. And boy, oh boy, that was a show last year. And that was a very adventurous, very wide line onto the front straight, Randy, if I recall. So kudos on that one. But so let's go into that for a second. Talk to me about the vehicle this year. Obviously, we alluded to it. You're in a Charger this year, a Red Eye or a Hellcat. A lot more power. What, Red Eye?
No, all of the above.
All of the above. So all the power
Hellcat,
uses.
Red Eye, wide body, Charger.
Yeah.
Did you just like go to Pep Boys and put all the other stuff on there too to add emblems? But so you're obviously in a very powerful rear wheel drive vehicle. So, and with considerably more weight than the Corvette, like we were just talking about. So it's been interesting speaking with other people because your name obviously comes up as one of the potentials for the front runner this year, particularly now that Andy's given us the news today that he's not bringing the McLaren because of an unfortunate engine issue. So really, we have no returning champion or champion cars, so to speak, that pairing. So the front of the field is really quite open. A lot of people have talked about Team PGR, the Tesla, potentially Tomo in the Porsche. But your name has been fairly high up there. And so the question really is two-part. Why this vehicle this year? And what are some of the strengths and some of the challenges that you're going to be running into with the tracks that we're visiting this year?
Well, let's see. Can I have a little bit of that? Last year, we borrowed our Dynan BMW from Dynan.
Mhm.
And this year I went back there. They weren't able to do it again, and I in some other vehicle. They have a fleet. I got a lot of friends there, but I talked to Enrique. I said, "Man, we're not going to be able to get it from Dynan and APR this year." So Enrique, he's just so good at contacts and working the business. That's how I met him when I was up at Road America when he was working there, and he has friends from Throttlestop. And Throttlestop is a premium car broker located in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, and motorcycles too, by the way. And I'm really a bike guy. In fact, Enrique, maybe a bike next year. What do you think?
Yeah. Look,
As long as you tie them together and have four wheels, you're good. Because Brock won't let you.
A sidecar on each side.
Yes, yeah, sidecar. That's almost there.
Just get an
Anyway,
Atom, you'll be just as miserable.
we had stopped at Throttlestop during a Porsche club event I did up at Road America called Treffen, and met Jim there, and Enrique talked to him about it, and Jim says, "Well, I got this nice new Charger Hellcat. Take that." All of a sudden, we had a car, and then we've got partners. We got tires from Yokohama, and we've got brakes from Hawk, and the car is pretty much ready. We get some setup advice from SRT because we've got friends over there at SRT Dodge. And the Yokohama tires are interesting because they've got a new model called an AD09. And last year we ran the A052, which is a very soft kind of autocrossy tire. And we put it on this big BMW SUV, and everybody looked at us like we were crazy. And we were, but then it rained the whole second half of the event.
Yep.
It was so lucky. And the tire's a good rain tire if it's not puddling. I mean, it just played straight into our hands, except Jason didn't get to do the drag strip. So we're hoping for a drag. We got a drag run this year, don't we? After Texas?
We
Yes.
do, assuming the
Yes.
weather allows for it. And as you mentioned, that's anybody's guess. So, yep.
That's you, Jason.
Yes, it is. Hopefully we can do it.
Okay.
You got a little drag racing background, right?
I dabble in a little bit.
I think one of the big tricks with any SRT car, but with the Charger Hellcat, is to set up the chassis. It's got all these buttons and gauges and dials and launch control. And if we can get all the right things punched in, I think it's going to be absolute monster and be very consistent too, because it's kind of a bracket event, right? Isn't that how they do the drag races?
So we have low ET and then we have bracket.
Yep.
Yep.
That's going to be fun. And that's going to be Jason.
Okay. So where do you think the car strengths are really going to play into it in the tracks that we're going to this year? And what tracks might you have a harder time with?
Well, one, the biggest advantage of the Charger is its straight line speed. And so any track, the longer the straightaways, the better off we're going to be. And so Road Atlanta, that should be a good one for us. I don't know, Nelson Ledge there's a lot of corners, but they're fast.
Yes.
It's a deceptively fast track. Under new ownership, has been refurbished, and it's just a wonderful place. Can't remember the name of the family that bought it, but such a great thing for Nelson Ledge's road course up outside of Akron, Ohio. And where else are we going? We're going out to Eagles Canyon.
Yep.
We ran there last year.
Yep.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Yep.
Was that 2 years? That could be good for us because I love the circuit. You know, the Charger's not they say themselves, it's not a sports car. It's not a race car. It's a muscle car. So wherever we can use our power, that's going to be the best thing for us. Great brakes. And we're in, what's our class, guys?
Mid-price.
Yeah, mid-price kind of streetcar class. I don't think you're going to see us beating on the door for the overall.
Okay.
I'm thinking that Plaid, are they going to run again, did you say?
They are. PGR is here, and they are also one of the favorites so far this year because they put on some impressive performances last year.
Yes, they did.
Yep. I mean, at the same track we were just talking about at Putnam, I recall seeing them going wide into the last corner onto the front straight and literally just seeing that front right just pull the car out and whee, there it goes. So it's pretty darn impressive what they can do. I'm sorry, Enrique, you were about to say something.
Yeah, no, I was going to say those guys I think that car, they've been fine tuning their running, and I think they're definitely due for something big. I could definitely see them winning the thing.
No, I agree. And Randy, that's got to resonate with you a little bit because if I'm not mistaken, I've seen you having some adventures into Tesla as of recently that you had picked up, and range anxiety being real. So how's that working out?
Thanks for the follow on Instagram,
Yep.
Randy Popes. Well, I'm racing a Plaid again at Pikes Peak Hill Climb. So I know what they've got, and the potential is incredible, especially for a short race.
Yeah.
What our strategy is as a team is comfort. And so we get nice, big, comfortable vehicles where 3 of us can ride along, and we just laugh at the S2000s and things like that with no windows when we go by them with the air conditioning and all whatever we need.
That it seems to be a trend. The more times you've done this, the more you gravitate toward a comfortable car. So I'm not sure what Andy's excuse is, but we'll figure it out this year. Brian, you have any question now?
Yeah, I've got one for Randy. Talking about the Tesla again, with you going up the hill. This will be what, your 3rd year running the Tesla at Pikes Peak, or 4th?
3rd year in a Plaid,
Okay.
4th year in a Tesla.
So what do you think about with Summit the other week announcing that they were no longer going to allow EVs? How do you think that's going to affect other tracks across the country?
Well, I think Summit is a kind of a vintage hot rod V8 oriented company in general. I mean, they sell stuff for everybody to use. But if that's what you're talking about, the Summit.
Summit Point.
Oh, never mind. Is
But
that
we
a
do love
safety
Summit
issue?
Racing because they've always been
Yes.
nice to us in the past.
I know, me too.
Well, you know, if you remember, Summit Point about 4 weeks ago announced that they were no longer going to allow EVs on track.
I did not know that. Could that be a safety issue because fires are so difficult?
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah, well, you know what? There's some sense in that. And it's kind of like the drag races. You can get a stock Plaid. It looks like your grandma's sedan, and you can go run a 9.3 with it all day. And they usually require parachutes and roll cages and driver suits. And it's a new world in the electric world. And that's why I bought a Tesla myself. I'm not trying to sell anybody on electric. I wanted to learn. I have this whole journalism side of my career. And I know the manufacturers driven by the government are pushing electric, and you see it everywhere you go, right? And I've learned a lot. Like, you've really got to plan your fuel stops, and it must be a challenge for the electric teams on the one lap to figure out how to fuel up. I mean, our biggest challenge is finding the best premium we can find anywhere, right? Because that Charger's going to want it. You got a supercharged Hemi. If we could find 100 octane at every race, we would. And maybe we will at some of them, especially the drag race.
Fantastic. All right, so moving into a little more event-specific questions now for you guys. Obviously, you're all now veterans, and we have a whole slew of new teams this year, and we've been asking all the veteran teams, what would your best advice be for the newcomers, for the lap pups that we have this year? Enrique, we'll start with you and go in the same order that we have before.
So I think the main thing that I always try to tell people when they're thinking about doing this, and I've lured a lot of people into doing the one lap, and usually it's
He showed up to Randy's house in a panelless van that's just candy on the side, and we wound up in the one lap.
Yeah. So I always just try to tell people, the first time you're going out there, don't set your expectations too high, right? Just go out there, have fun, learn, talk to the teams that have been doing it for a while. Just go and have a good time and learn what it's about, and spend time with people in the paddock and just kind of enjoy it. A lot of time people come out for the first time without knowing what they're getting into with these super high expectations, and I think they might walk away disappointed if they do that. So, just come in with an open mind and realize that everyone that's there has a passion for what you have a passion for, which is cars and racing and stuff. So there's going to be a lot to talk about and hang out and have fun.
Fantastic. Randy?
Don't try too hard. Rookies, actually, Enrique's son ran last year and had a co-driver who put the car off track. I think twice, right?
The same event, same track.
Yeah.
It's consistent.
He was so kind, he let him try again. And I'm like, no more driving for that guy. So on track, there's almost no practice. You get like a 7/8 of a warm-up lap. And so it'd be very easy to make a mistake. You don't know what the grip's going to be. And so you have to be smooth. Keep in mind, it's a long event. Also, keep moving so that you get your sleep. Now, inside story on our team, Enrique and I have gotten into a little battle over that because Enrique is a flipping slave driver. He's got enough experience on this event. He's like, back it up. Come on, let's go. I'm going, well, I'm hungry. Get a sandwich in the gas station. Come on.
Yeah.
It might not be quite that bad. But I told him, I said, Enrique,
a little bit.
It might be worse. Who knows?
I'm like, right.
I'm not saying anything.
Quite so focused on hitting the road and driving hard. I'm willing to give up a half an hour or an hour of sleep to smell the roses a little bit. And like Jason says, maybe meet somebody.
There you go. All right, Jason, what about yourself?
The main thing is have fun. When Enrique asked me to do it, I always wanted to do it with my father. but I wasn't able to do it with him. He had passed because of cancer. So when Enrique asked me to do the event, how fast did I say yes?
Yeah, pretty quick. Didn't take long.
So Enrique explained to me kind of what he said there, but have fun, enjoy yourself, meet people, and do your homework too a little bit on the tracks. If you can watch videos on YouTube, that's what Enrique encouraged me to do, and I don't know if I did enough of that when I drove on that year, watching and learning the tracks. Not to be competitive, but just to have a good flow. It was a fun time, and that's why I'm back. But mainly have fun, meet people, and make good friends with Brock.
Fair enough. Brian, before we start getting into the closing questions, do you have anything else?
Yeah, Enrique, are you going to have some of those great stickers with you again this year that you had? And
Yes.
if so, how can people get them by donating to your charity?
So we will have Jason. Fortunately, Jason has a printing company, so when we want stickers or need stickers or anything like that, Jason is super generous with that. So we will have a brand new stack of my cancer stickers. So yeah, they can just find us in the paddock or anywhere, and we'll have them. And yeah, funds go to the American Cancer Society. I started the fundraiser a little late this year, but as you guys can see, if you follow me on Facebook or Instagram or anywhere, the friends that I have, and a lot of them, there you go, a lot of them that are from the racing community are so generous. I put it up less than a week ago, and we're over $3,000. I mean, it's just blows me away how generous people are, and I think it's because everyone has been touched by this ugly thing called cancer, and I just want it to go away. It's too late for me, but it's not too late for your kids and grandkids, and hopefully we can make it so that they don't have to deal with this shit.
Absolutely. And if panning over to your right, Enrique, you can kind of see what that sticker looks like at the bottom of the cabinet there.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the one we're talking about that we've been running on our cars since we first got them. So as we start getting into the tail end of this interview and our time together, obviously racing and the one lap is not an inexpensive endeavor. And we all know that every little bit helps, whether it be through product or through funding. With that said, who are your sponsors and or partners for this year?
I'll let Jason take it.
Well, this year, my company, we're sponsoring Imperial Communications along with Yokohama, Throttlestop, Hawk. Everyone's been so generous to help us out with parts, brakes, things like that, and tires. Am I missing anyone? I think I got everybody, didn't I?
No, that's it. But Jason, Jason's company, Jason's been very generous. He supports the team. He supports my chair of the American Cancer Society. He helped a lot last year. We did Henry was a sponsor. They might be back this year. We did a shoot down cancer event, and Jason was generous with his time and printing and doing a lot of stuff to help with that. So thank you, Jason, and for your company too for supporting us doing this crazy stuff.
Fantastic. And obviously your charity, we've mentioned it a few times, but we know you have your goal of what is it, 20,000 by the time the event is over to raise. So why don't you talk to us a little bit about that and then where people can go to donate. And if you guys send the links over to us after this for both sponsors and for charity, we'll make sure we post that in the description part of the content here. So why don't you take us through that, Enrique?
Sure. So I have the stickers, and I'm trying to see if I can grab one here, but there's one up behind me. There's a QR code that'll be on the car, that'll be on the stickers that people can scan, and then they can donate that way. You will have the link on the web here on the YouTube video in the comment down below, where they can also go to donate to the American Cancer Society. And again, appreciate all the support that everyone has. the American Cancer Society, not only does it support people who have cancer, but more importantly, it supports research. They fund a ton of projects at universities and with different companies to try to find cures. One of the great things that's coming out, they're actually talking about a vaccine for skin cancer that is actually in clinical trials, which, I mean, if you think about it, that's kind of where we want to be, right? You get a vaccine for cancer and you don't have to worry about it. So do what you can to support them.
Well, thank you very much. And gentlemen, this has been an interview that I've been looking forward to since we saw it booked, and really looking forward to seeing y'all in South Bend in a little over a week. Randy, we'll be sure to catch up with you during the event, as well as Enrique and Jason, but be very curious to get some of your thoughts on particularly the Tesla and some of the electrification performance as the week goes on, as it compares to what your experiences have been. Since you're far more experienced than we are, I just rent them from Hertz and try and beat them up, and yeah, that's my experience with them. But thank you all so much for joining us today for the 2023 Tire Rack One Lap of America, presented by Grassroots Motorsport Magazine, with the coverage brought to you by Hooked on Driving. I'm Solomon. That's Brian. We've got Randy, Enrique, and Jason. We will see you guys in South Bend pretty soon. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
See you soon.